Hey guys, it's Moose Juice Reviews here, and we're going to be comparing albums Recharge by Garry and Irreversible Advance by Pcoe, both 2023 releases. But to start off with track 1, I really have nothing negative to say about the song, The Exposition. It has several switch-ups to keep the audience entertained, and the subtle background synth is it's really just amazing. And later on in the song, the bass fits very well with the drum loop. It's very groovy, and the drum loop is an absolute bop. The synth, also around 1 minute and 50 seconds, is absolutely litty. And in the song Recharge, the pad in the synth is very relaxing, and the drums, hi-hats are very nice and soothing and fit very well with the synth. But my only complaint about the song was that it has very little switch-ups, so it's not very exciting. It does not keep the audience entertained. So overall, after track 1, I'm going to have to give it to The Exposition, giving Irreversible Advance 1, Garry 0. Alright, moving on to track 2, Master P versus I Dream. In Master P, the opening bass is very clean and it builds somewhat of a hype mood while also staying chill. And the opening synth and hi-hats are very clean, they flow very well with the bass. The kick drums further into the song are very nice, and whatever type of instrument is in the last 14 seconds is very nice and soothing sound. Now moving on to I Dream. The bells and the drum beat are very clean and nice and also very soothing, as well as the pad, but after a little bit it does get a bit repetitive, but that all changes when it switches up about halfway through. So overall, I'm going to have to give this one to Garry for the track I Dream, putting it to 1-1 tie game right now. Alright, moving on to track 3. This is Love Thy Manatee versus Sorry. In Love Thy Manatee, the opening guitar is very nice and jazzy, and when the woodwinds come in, it's very nice, and it sounds like it could be in a movie soundtrack or something. And this is overall one of the best instrumental tracks I've ever had the pleasure of blessing my ears to. And it has several switch-ups, so it never becomes repetitive. And it's, in my opinion, one of the best songs on Irreversible Advance. Now moving on to Sorry, I wish I could say the same. I'm playing. Sorry is a fire track. The chimes at the start are very nice and lead very well into the beat. And it's a really relaxing and lo-fi type of beat that you can listen to for any mood. But overall, I gotta give it to Love Thy Manatee. One of my favorite instrumental tracks to listen to. Now moving on to track 4. Moving on to track 4 is Flashlight Break versus Alien Jesus. In Flashlight Break, it kind of sounds like a beam of light at the start, but it's kind of boring to go on for half of the song, 30 whole seconds. And then when the drum comes in, it's really not anything super special. It's overall just kind of a weird song. Versus Alien Jesus, it sounds kind of like the title suggests. It's sort of alien-y, but really weird, but in kind of a soothing way. And it's one of my personal favorites on the album because of the background subtle drums and bass that help the song really feel like a complete track. Overall, I'm going to have to give it to Alien Jesus on this one. Tying it back up at 2-2. We got a good matchup on our hands. Alright guys, moving on to track 5. This is going to be Pulse Angel versus Waffle. Pulse Angel is very experimental and hype with heavy and really nice drums to give the album a different feel and to put it more on the hype side of the spectrum compared to more of the chill songs that we saw from Pcoe before. But with Waffle, its downfall comes with being too similar to Alien Jesus, and it gets boring having two of pretty much the exact same track, only 5 seconds different in length. So you're really getting almost 5 minutes of the exact same material back to back, and that's really just not what you want from an album. So it pretty easily is going to go to Pulse Angel. Again, one of my favorite tracks on the album, and it really is, whenever you're coming to a hype experimental track, that's one of the best that you can go to. It's really nice. I love it. And moving on to track 6. Track 6, we got Vag Scam Tat versus Horned Frog. Vag Scam Tat, it kind of sounds like Roblox music, but in a way better way. It's super fire and lightens the mood with a really nice synth, and it's just really nice. Alright, and then Horned Frog, it's super hype, but also gets really chill, so it fits with every mood. It has a really nice melody with the bass/guitar, and as well as the bells. It's a tough one, but overall, I'm going to give it to Horned Frog, just due to, it really just like the length, and it keeps you intrigued for more often. 4 minutes versus 2:45. It's really just, it's gotta go to Horned Frog. Though I love Vag Scam Tat. It's a close one. Get it tied up at 3-3. We got a real close game on our hands. All right, track 7. We got versus We Are Men's. Starting off with We Are Mittens, it's the best use of cowbells that I've ever seen in a song. That's my hot take. And it has a liddy pad, and it's just so groovy and jazzy. I love this song. It's one of my favorites on the album. It might even be my favorite. But with it's literally just piano. It's mid as heck. It ain't even good piano. It's the worst track easily on the album. Easily, I got We Are Mittens. Easy one. Give it a 4 to 3. Pcoe's up right now. Still a close game. Anyone could win. Could go either way. I guess we'll see. Alright, moving on to track 8, we got Subverted Expectations versus Pancakes Interlude. Subverted Expectations, it's pretty boring. I don't have too much to say about it. It's alright. It kind of sounds like you're being raised into heaven, but for like really long, so it's really repetitive, and it's pretty boring. So I'd say that's like the only skip, other than maybe Flashlight Break on the album. But when it comes to Pancakes, it's super lit and hype. It's pretty cool. And I love the instruments, and it sounds like a 70s commercial background song. And I love this song. It easily goes to Pancakes for me. It's going to tie it back up at 4-4. We got a real close game. Only 3 tracks left. Put your predictions. It's going to be close. Alright, track 9. We got Bagel versus Springtime Solace. Springtime Solace, it has an amazing piano. And it's overall a really good song with a really good, quiet drum beat. And in my opinion, it's the best song on the album. It's really chill, and it's one of the best background musics I've ever heard, and it has a really nice melody. When it comes to Bagel, it's a really great track with really nice piano, really nice melody, a heavy drum beat, which contrasts very well to the form of piano. And when the lead comes in, it's just really nice and soothing, and it's just overall, it's overall a really great track. And this is a tough decision for me to make because I really do enjoy Springtime Solace. But I enjoy Bagel more, which is a really hot take because before making this review, I didn't have really any feelings on Bagel. But when I come to re-listen to it, it's really a great track. And this album, I like it more now when I've reviewed it. So yeah, moving on to track 10. It's going to be 5-4 right now. Garry is winning. He's taken the lead with only 2 more tracks. So for Pcoe to win, he has to win both tracks. So it's coming down to the wire here. Alright, track 11, Tabula Zaza versus The Explosion. The Explosion, it's really hype, has really hype metal beat at the start, and then it moves into a super trap, and it's like a Cardi beat, and it's really hype, and it's like the heaviest, hypest instrumental track that I've ever heard personally. And that's really all I have to say about it. But when it comes to Tabula Zaza, it's like the worst verses ever. Whoever wrote those verses should probably just quit writing music entirely. And whoever stole that beat and tried to give it to the greatest lyricist ever is just an idiot, and they have no creativity whatsoever. The first verse is amazing, but it does not fit well with the beat at all. Tapped In is so much better. Tabula Zaza sucks. This is an easy choice. I'm giving to The Explosion any day of the week. Tabula Zaza has no re-listenability factor. It's genuinely just the worst song ever made. That's because of Garry. It's not because of the feature Moose Juice. Moose Juice is actually the greatest artist ever. And his 2 albums easily going to just wipe the floor with both of these albums. So, that's what I have to say. Tabula Zaza sucks. The Explosion is great. Moving on to the final track. It's 5-5. Down to the wire. The last track. Who will win? Tough choice. Alright, moving on to track 11. Hummingbird is probably one of the most boring tracks I've ever heard in my life. Follow Me is also, it's pretty groovy, but it also is really repetitive to go on for 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I don't really like it, but Hummingbird, it has Thank You as the second track, which obviously isn't good in general, but it's the first Pcoe track that really has words in it. And for that reason, it really has a big upside versus all the other Pcoe tracks. It was kind of groundbreaking in terms of Pcoe's type of music. We've never heard Pcoe speak before in his music. And we have Pcoe and Garry speak in the music, which makes this song really groundbreaking, versus Follow Me is really nothing new to what we've heard from Garry previous just projects. So I'm going to have to give it final track. I'm going to have to go with Hummingbird. Really not a great song overall, but Follow Me kind of just, it's kind of just fits with the rest of the album, and it's really nothing new, which when Hummingbird is really, it's something different. We actually finally hear Pcoe speak for once, and we hear Garry speaking, two creators collaborating. But overall, what I'd say about these albums is that they're both fantastic albums. Unfortunately, I did not get to go over track 12 or 13 from Garry Sign's album, but fortunately, they both suck. So really, all they do is weigh down the album. My Singing Monster sucks. Supreme sucks. So really, these two albums are both nearly perfect albums. I have little to say bad about these albums. These creators are just some great creators, and I'm really excited to see what the future comes for these creators. Maybe they can collaborate, make some albums together. But overall, I'm gonna give Recharge maybe a 9.3 out of 10. When I'm gonna stick with my original rating of Irreversible Advance, stick with a light to strong 9.8 out of 10. It's really just a great album, and everything. The album compiles a lot better. Even if you're not taking it on a track-by-track basis, the album feels way more complete, in my opinion, than Recharge does. It's less of a compilation of songs and more of really a complete album with different ends of the spectrum, going from chill and jazzy to heavy and trap. It's really just a deep, deep album. It's a great album. I love it all together. And there's no necessarily bad songs on Irreversible Advance, where on Recharge, there's the track Tabulous Ozzo, which no one should ever put themselves through listening to. It's terrible. It's awful. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this review, and stick in for stick around for Garry Sign's new album coming out sometime ever. It's called Let's Do It. I'm looking forward to reviewing it. I hope you have a great day. Stick around for that review. Have a great day.